What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all doing well on this Friday afternoon as we are going into the weekend. Today, I've got a couple of news stories for you, and one of them is an update on the AMD pricing situation from the other day. We've got some information coming from Steve over at Gamers Nexus, as well as an official statement from AMD that was posted over on Kit Guru regarding the whole pricing situation. So we will start off there over at Gamers Nexus, who originally reached out to some of their add-in board partners. I'm not sure exactly which ones they didn't mention, but they reached out to add-in board partners to get some sort of confirmation on the pricing of RX Vega and what we could expect to see these cards at. And they did get a response back saying that Jibbo is right, quote unquote. For those of you who aren't familiar, Jibbo is the person over at OCUK who had originally posted this information that the cards were going to be $100 above the SEP. And to also kind of follow that up, the other day I was not too sure what SEP meant, as I couldn't really find any information online about that terminology, SEP. It does in fact mean suggested e-tail pricing. So in the press decks and all of the information leading up to launch, AMD was listing the suggested e-tail pricing of the cards at $399 and $499 respectively for Vega 56 and Vega 64. Although everything that Jibba was saying was that that pricing was going to go up right after launch because of rebates being pulled by AMD, which were only meant to be a temporary thing to entice the retailers and e-tailers to sell the cards at that SEP price, because otherwise they're not going to be making a whole lot of money on these cards at all, as they're providing them to the retailers at $399 and $499. So AMD basically gave them a temporary rebate program where they can kind of get money back on these cards so that they can kind of force that lower price right at launch. But now that is going away, and there is really no word yet on whether or not it will be returning. And to follow that up, AMD also made a statement which was posted over on Kit Guru regarding the pricing. Although they have not responded directly to the whole rebate accusation, their response reads as follows. Radeon RX Vega 64 demand continues to exceed expectations. AMD is working closely with its partners to address this demand. Our initial launch quantities include standalone RX Vega 64 at SEP of $499, Radeon RX Vega 64 Black Packs at SEP of $599, and Radeon RX Vega 64 Aqua Packs at SEP of $699. We are working with our partners to restock all SKUs of Radeon RX Vega 64, including these standalone cards and gamer packs over the next few weeks, and you should expect quantities of Vega to start arriving in the coming days. So they're basically saying that they were hit with a issue of supply and demand and that they will begin getting cards back in, but they have not directly denied whether or not the pricing will come up as a result of that because of the whole rebate issue. So this really seems like they've kind of given a statement, but they still haven't really denied the original accusations, trying to kind of blame everything on supply and demand. It's really up to you now whether or not you're going to believe that, or if it even matters, because will you be able to buy these cards at $399 and $499? I would say that that's highly unlikely. The first RX Vega 56 has actually already shown up online. Those cards aren't releasing until the end of the month. The whole review of RX Vega 56 really got moved up by about 2 weeks, probably because they thought it would compete better with GTX 1070, knowing that Vega 64 is pretty much losing across the board to the GTX 1080. So reviewers got those cards with not a whole lot of time to test them, which is kind of, was a big problem with Vega 56 right from the get-go, is not all reviewers had enough time to do appropriate testing, and some people have gone back and retested and, done tweaks because we got late drivers and all of that. But to get back to this whole pricing thing, Vega 56 has shown up on the first UK retailer, which is CCL Online, and they are listing Vega 56, a reference blower-style cooler, at 399 British pounds. And if we convert that to USD, it comes in at $515. So that is that's $115 more than what was originally said for the SEP at $399. So that is definitely falling in line with what we've heard so far from Jibbo and the other rumors that are circulating around with the pricing and the rebates and all of that stuff. So really moving forward, I think what we're going to see is very likely these cards are going to be selling at above what the original SEP was quoted. Whether or not this is, AMD's fault or the retailer's fault or supply and demand, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you to decide whether that matters, because you're still going to be paying $100 over retail for what these graphics cards should be and for what they're competing with on the NVIDIA side of things, where you can get those cards a cheaper price and 1080 is performing better. We know that than the Vega 64 as well as Vega 56, while Vega 56 is beating the GTX 1070. And a lot of this could come down to the fact of the high cost of production on these cards with the likes of HBM2. We know that that's rather pricey to get those memory modules into the graphics cards. So with Vega 56 being pretty much just a cut down Vega 64, according to Gamers Nexus in their review, they said it had the same exact VRM, same exact GPU and all of that. So it's still just as expensive as Vega 64 to manufacture for Vega 56. So the likelihood that they're really making any money on those cards is, well, not likely at all. So the retailers are being left to raise the prices in order so that they can actually make some money off of the cards, because they're not seeing a very big return on these cards right now. So that just might be the kind of the final nail in the coffin for RX Vega. I can't really see too many people going out and buying these cards. I mean, even though they're sold out, I think that was just kind of the initial hype, but I don't even really see miners going out and spending a ton of money on these cards because of the high power draw and the relatively low hash rate compared to the power draw that they're going to be putting out. I heard some people saying it was around 30 to 35 megahash per second, and then there was a driver that was released that was specifically to help out with mining that got it up to around 40 megahash per second. But with the high power draw of these cards, it would make a lot more sense to just go out and buy two 570s or two 570s or two 580s, which are going to have relatively the same power draw but a higher hash rate when you combine those two cards together. So two 570s or two 580s would be a better purchase if you're a miner in the market than it would be to buy RX Vega cards. But we'll just have to wait over the next couple of weeks and kind of see how all of this plays out. Our last news story is the Intel Coffee Lake, where a distributor actually leaked the specs table for the Coffee Lake processors, and it is looking like 8700K, the 6-core 12-threaded top-end SKU in the Coffee Lake family, is going to be quite the beast. I mean, we know they've got lower core and thread counts when compared to AMD Ryzen, but Intel has always been better on single-threaded performance, and that is still the case today, even up against AMD Ryzen. So seeing the 6-core 12-threaded variant, which is going to have a core clock of 3.7 gigahertz and a boost of 4.3 gigahertz on all cores. It does have a 4.7 gigahertz boost, but that's only on a single core. The one that'll apply to all cores will be 4.3. So once you get these CPUs in, since it is a K SKU, you can overclock it. I'm hoping that we'll see these getting up around 4.7 maybe across all cores. If you overclocking, I'm not sure if that's just a little bit too hopeful or not, but my 6800K can do 4.3 gigahertz, but it puts out a lot of heat, and it requires quite a high voltage to be able to get up to 4.3 gigahertz. So if we could see better efficiency on that with Coffee Lake and being able to see them get up to 4.3 or above, maybe about 4.6, 4.7 across all cores, I mean, maybe even 5 gigahertz. Who the hell knows, really, at this point? Well, they should be releasing in the next week or two, and will be very interesting to see for single-threaded performance. I'm certain that 8700K would probably beat out Ryzen, but knowing that, you can get a Ryzen 1700 for probably $50 to $80 less than what this is going to be launching at, if we're assuming it's going to be around $350 to $380, you can get Ryzen 1700 for $300 right now. So it's definitely got more cores and threads, but Intel will likely still be winning on the single-threaded side of things. So it really depends on what is more important to you at the end of the day. But I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this update on the AMD pricing situation. I do look forward to your feedback down in the comments below, as always, as I'm sure this is going to be a heated discussion. It was on the previous video, so I know we still kind of have a lot of questions in the air. AMD is still not directly denied the whole rebate situation, so we'll just have to wait and see what follows in the coming weeks concerning RX Vega. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Don't forget to leave a like on this video down below if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're not already. And if you have been here for a while, you can always hit the notification bell so you'll know whenever I'm uploading new tech news videos like this one here. And I will catch you guys next time. Ta-da!